I'm with you, Raghunath, that our work becomes joyful when there's a central purpose. It becomes meaningful. And when there's a shared central purpose, then we find this harmony. So I did think that that was interesting. How he said the very stars are said to make harmony as they revolve in their spheres. And it's kind of like we talk a lot about how certain I guess empiricists, if you want to call them that, or atheists, how they assume that there's no meaning to what we're looking at, that it's a random, mixture of gases and dust, in a big, empty, dark space, and that's where everything's come from. Whereas other people will look and say, no, I think there's messages in everything that I'm looking at, right? Like, look at the stars and how they revolve around, look at the solar system, how they revolve around a central figure. The moon doing the same thing, right? Or all the different
See the magic in it all.
Yeah, see the magic, see
not
the
the
message.
randomness of it, not the nothingness of it, right?
Yeah, that's right. Try to understand if there's a message, and it's kind of like if we open up to that, it can be like, well, duh, why am I not happy? Because I'm not revolving around a nice thing in a nice smooth circle. It's like maybe that's why there's dissonance. I thought about this in terms of music, right? I think we can see these principles everywhere, in science, in astrology, in music. Let's take music, for example, right? It's like in music, there's something called the key, right? And every instrument has to be tuned according to that key, and
Right.
every musician has to be playing in tune with that key. And if one string is out of tune, it creates a type of dissonance. And that dissonance is like a feeling where things are out of tune and uncomfortable and disturbing in some way. If our world is so full of disturbance, perhaps it's not that we're in tune with the key. Perhaps it's not that,
I like that.
right?
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Live from Super Soul Farm, this is Wisdom of the Sages, a daily spiritual podcast with your host, Raghunath, and co-host and senior educator at the Bhakti Center in New York City, Kaustubha Das. It's Tuesday, July 22nd, and it's episode 2025. No, it's the year.
It's the year,
It's the year 2025. It's the year 2025, and it's episode 1645. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the show, the Srimad Bhagavatam show. That is, it's our daily study of the Srimad Bhagavatam. And here with Miss Mara live and with a group of people on Zoom, and we're doing it. We're living it and getting ready for these Youth of Today shows going on this weekend. Whew. Someone asked me, is it hard to Maya asked me. Because, Maya just went on tour with Radhika Ranjan. You know what? I was proud of Maya. It was like she just gave her life to Krishna quickly. Sometimes it takes people out. She sort of clicked in with, this is my passion to sing. I want to sing for Krishna. And then Radhika Ranjan's doing this big concert tour of kirtan, and they asked her to join with her. I was so happy to see her engage in what she was born to do. And she asked me this question: is it hard to do Youth of Today? Getting up on stage. And here's my two answers to this. This is a good question for people. I thought the first hard thing was the obvious thing is do what you're good at doing, but get your big ego out of the way. And especially me, I got a big ego. And that comes with, I think, being a performer or anybody who's sort of got to lead in their workplace. Can they do it sort of in servant mode? And that's sort of a trick. It's sort of a slippery, it's sort of a slack line you got to cross. Can I be strong? Can I be big? Can I be, in my case, entertain almost? But can I do it in the mood of service? So that was one thing for entertainers out there, a showman or maybe a boss or something like that. The second one is, it's hard for me. Late nights are hard because when you work into the late night, it screws up your early morning. That's why they sort of go, it's tough, and you have to figure out how to make that work. You have to figure out, because when you wake up, then you're already in midday, and it's tough on your. There's a precious time in everybody. I see a lot of people waking up for this podcast early because there's a precious quiet time in the morning that's really conducive for spiritual life. So I'd say that's the hardest for me. Good morning, Kaustubha. How are you?
I'm doing all right, Raghunath.
Did you see Radhika Ranjan and Maya sing in New York that time?
I didn't.
You didn't go. You didn't go.
I may have been in Italy. I don't
Yeah,
know.
I think
but
we
Oh,
were all
you
in
know what?
Italy.
We were all in Italy.
Yeah.
We were all in Italy. I could have seen you like in the front row dancing. Yes. Losing your mind. Hmm.
No, I'll save that for Youth of Today.
Okay, good. Come to the Youth of Today show in New York and Brooklyn. That'll be great.
Okay, that's this weekend, huh? What day?
Yeah. You're on the VIP list, buddy.
All right, all right.
It's what day is New York? Mary?
Friday.
Friday.
The last time I did that in Brooklyn, they provided all kind of stuff backstage for you back there.
It's not like the old days when you were just like completely slumming it. Now there's like a
A lot
tray
of
of-
alcohol.
Oh,
first of all.
alcohol? Oh,
Yeah,
not
right.
for
They did
there was
have that.
there's like a
And
spread of like,
was like
I was
fruit.
like, yeah, fruit.
If
some,
I
like,
show up with the bag, is
cucumbers.
it okay?
What's that?
Is it okay if I show up with the bag?
Take the fruit home. Where'd all the apples go?
Great show.
Yeah, you can take our fruit. That's okay.
Okay.
Okay. Mara, how are you?
Announcements.
Any announcements?
I'm doing well. I Veda Yoga for an LA Rath
yeah,
Yatra
yoga.
next weekend happening.
Okay. Let's get that on the
Not
right
this coming
page.
weekend.
Right.
Not
Wow.
this coming weekend's Youth of Today. Get home, get ready.
August 1st through 3rd.
August 1st through 3rd.
Yep.
That's going to be fun. It was so much fun last year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was.
By the way, next week, Wednesday, I'm in Bhakti Yoga SF, San Francisco,
Oh,
for
really?
a little sort of talk, satsang, book
had no
book
idea.
release thing at Bhakti Yoga SF. Then we're hanging with Ken Putnam that night. Wednesday
Usually
night we
when
play
you go
in
to
San Francisco.
you do something in the Castro room.
Yes, usually the Castro room. This is
And you're
at
looking more like Castro than ever before now.
Thank you.
But no Castro room this time?
No Castro room this time. This is at Bhakti Yoga SF. They have a new place. Really
I heard.
impressive. And so we're going to hang out there and do program there. And immediately right after that, we have the show in San Francisco, the Shelter show. And then Shelter's going to fly down to LA and going to meet up with Mara and Kaustubha. And then we have a show in LA on Thursday night. And then Friday night, Kaustubha's doing his thing.
Resetting the algorithms of the mind. At
Reset.
Veda
I
Yoga.
saw that post
Yeah.
on Wisdom of Sages. It looked really cool. It was a
You
great
like that?
post. Yeah.
All
Chapu
right.
made that? Or
I
you
made
made
that,
that?
actually.
It was very good. You're very talented. at
No,
many
thank you.
things.
Thank you.
Yeah.
that.
And then Saturday,
fun?
I'm giving my class. It's asana and storytelling and some chanting, and both of those before each class we're doing we're doing Wisdom of the Sages live, and then of course join us Sunday at the LA Rath Yatra. Make it your LA weekend. Come on down. It'll be fun.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome.
And people can go to wisdomofthesages.com to check that out and also to check out our show calendar because we're going to be changing schedule a little the next couple of weeks.
Okay.
So yeah, it's gonna be a little rough the next couple of weeks.
Yeah.
Also, we got a big January. Come on down for Wisdom of the Sages in January at the Govardhan Eco Village for our 6th annual wisdom training. It's happening. That's from the 11th till the 23rd.
And if people want to, they can come early and do Kirtan Academy from December 31st through January 11th and then stay for the wisdom training.
There you go. Boom, boom. Study
Are we
harmonium.
gonna do
and
the
then
Mayapur thing? Is
do
that
the wisdom training. And yeah, let's go to Mayapur right
we have
afterwards.
that up?
And
Is
then
that
stay
announced?
longer. That's not up yet. We got to get
We
that
gotta
up.
Get that up.
Then we're going to stay longer after the flower festival. We go to Mayapur for a week, and that's magic.
So that would be like the 25th through the 2nd or something like that. Right?
Something like that. Something like that.
26th.
It's that Monday. It's
Yeah,
that Monday
the 26th.
for a week.
Yeah.
But just let us know. All right, let's get into this nugget.
Yeah.
All right.
Nugget us.
Okay.
The Nugget.
Who's it
This
from,
comes from
Aaron?
Thomas Carlyle from his
Oh, yeah.
essay Time Stars Work.
What?
Thomas
Thomas Carlyle from his
Carlyle.
essay, Time Stars Work.
He was a Scottish writer, philosopher, essayist, historian. And you could be one of these two. We're going to social critic.
Oh,
Yeah, put that on my bio. I'm a social
Social
critic. I
critic.
am. I'll criticize everything.
Okay.
I'm already that.
It's just to borrow these things. Social critic, yes. He's famous for his powerful poetic prose and his critiques of modern industrial society, materialism, and the loss of spiritual values.
I do that too. I'm already this. I need to fluff up my bio, Mary. You're a good writer. Fluff up my bio.
Fluff it up.
yeah. All right. So Thomas Carlyle writes, give us the man who sings at his work.
Sings at
He-
his work, right?
Give us the man who sings at his work. I do that.
You do. I know.
Raghunath,
This,
you
this
are-
nugget reminded me of you.
Yes,
Prabhu.
you do, Raghunath. Yes, you do.
He will do more in the same time. He will do it better. He will persevere longer.
Okay.
One is scarcely sensible to fatigue while he marches to music.
Hmm.
The very stars are said to make harmony as they revolve in their spheres.
Okay.
That's
They
lovely.
make harmony as they revolve in their spheres. In their spheres.
I've said something very similar. I've said, whistle while you work.
I think that was Jiminy Cricket that said that.
Just can't scroll up.
What's going on, Raghunath?
Something's wrong with my computer. Hold on a second.
Okay.
Just double click here. Okay. I am the I think that our whole practice is singing. One of the best compliments I ever got for shelter was that, hey, we were all brahmacharis in the temple and we'd like clean the kitchen listening to shelter. You know how many people have told me that?
That's great, Raghunath.
Hundreds. Not
Tell
really.
us more about your glories. We haven't heard enough.
Hare Krishna. The man who sings at his work, he's not just grinding through life.
Yeah.
You know, he's got some center of his being that makes even hard work feel life. That is beautiful, Kaustubha. Then that last line is very nice, right? The very stars are said to make harmony as they revolve in their spheres. That's it.
Yes.
That's the secret. When your life has a center,
Yes.
right? Like your life has something higher, something powerful, something beautiful. Everything falls into place, right? We're living in a purposeless world. Of course, there's depression, right? Don't solve your depression with medication necessarily. How about finding your purpose? How about pausing and finding purpose, direction, your mission, your offering?
Right.
And then maybe check in with pharmaceuticals. How about first, right? Maybe then, but first this, right? Your work, your relationships, even your struggle, they all find their rhythm, right? Even your struggle will find its rhythm, right?
People are flushing their meds down the toilet as you speak, all across America.
And here's the other thing. Wait, we all have our own struggles, our own flaws, and it's easy to bump into each other and clash. But if we're all revolving around the same center, suddenly we're not just connected to the center,
Right.
we're connected to each other.
Right.
That's like a sacred circle when you share your struggle, your flaws, your successes, right?
I'm with you.
Someone appreciates your music, singing in the kitchen. We share that with each other and we encourage each other, right?
We
That's
all,
okay
we
too.
all
And I share my
revolve
struggle with
around
you,
that central
and you
point
hear
of-
me, and you sympathize, and you share your struggle,
Okay.
right?
Yeah.
You know, sometimes you're too harsh. That's okay, right? Knowing we're all part of some beautiful, right, tapestry. We're all part of some beautiful motion, like dancing stars in their orbit, Kaustubha. You are like a dancing star in my orbit, my friend.
I orbit around you, and then everything is perfectly smooth.
What do you think about that, Kaustubha?
Well, no, I think he's on. I from what I've picked up, you know, this Thomas Carlyle, I think he's insightful, and I think what he's saying is that, you know, even the things that life can seem like drudgery, people can go to work and it's just, or you may take joy in work, and I'm with you, Raghunath, that our work becomes joyful when there's a central purpose. It becomes meaningful, and when there's a shared central purpose, then we find this harmony. So I did think that was interesting how he said the very stars are said to make harmony as they revolve in their spheres. And it's kind of like we talk a lot about how certain I guess empiricists, if you want to call them that, or atheists, how they assume that there's no meaning to what we're looking at, that it's a random, mixture of gases and dust, in a big, empty, dark space, and that's where everything's come from. Whereas other people will look and say, no, I think there's messages in everything that I'm looking at, right? Like,
Mm.
look at the stars and how they revolve around, look at the solar system, how they revolve around a central figure. The moon doing the same thing, right? Or all the
See the
different
magic.
moons.
See the magic in it all.
Yeah, see the magic, see
Not
the
the
message.
randomness of it, not the nothingness of it, right?
Yeah, yeah, that's right. Try to understand if there's a message, and it's kind of like if we open up to that, it can be like, well, duh. Why am I not happy? Because I'm not revolving around a nice thing in a nice smooth circle. It's like maybe that's why there's dissonance. I thought about this in terms of music, right? I think we can see these principles everywhere, in science, in astrology, in music. Let's take music, for example, right?
Mm.
It's like in music, there's something called the key, right? And every instrument has to be tuned according to that key, and
Right.
every musician has to be playing in tune with that key. And if one string is out of tune, it creates a type of dissonance. And that dissonance is like a feeling where things are out of tune and uncomfortable and disturbing in some way.
Mm.
If our world is so full of disturbance, perhaps it's not that we're in tune with the key. Perhaps it's not that,
Oh, I like that.
right? Now I looked up a little. I did a little research, Raghunath, on musical keys.
Oh, tell me.
And as soon as I did, I found that they're speaking in the same type of language, right? A musical key defines the set of pitches or notes on which a piece is based and establish a tonal center, right? A center known as the tonic. Did you know that? It's known as the tonic.
I studied music, Kaustubha. Did you know that?
Yes, I know. So
It's
that's
third
what I was
grade.
asking.
Third grade. Studied violin.
Did they tell you about the tonic?
Yep.
Okay. And they say, so this is known as a tonic, around which melodies and harmonies revolve,
Hmm.
right? This key determines which notes and chords feel at home, providing structure to both composition and performance. So now it says the tonal center is the tonic note. It acts as a gravitational point, giving music its sense of resolution and stability. It also creates this ensemble cohesion, right? Key is essential for musicians in a group, providing a common framework so everyone complements each other rather than clashing harmonically.
Mm.
So it's kind of like wherever you look in the universe, there's a common message being shared, right? If there's a shared center and we voluntarily choose to revolve around that center, it creates beauty, it creates harmony, it creates peace, And if we don't learn, if we don't become accustomed to and naturally, or you could say naturally fall into this revolution around a center, then there's dissonance and there's disturbance and there's
Wow.
pain. And there's one last thing that I thought was really interesting. It was that, okay, maybe the universe is speaking to us, through the stars in the sky and through music and through so many places in science we can find it, through engineering and so on. We can find so many things like this, But it may sound like still I don't like the idea that I need to conform, right? That this is going to limit my freedom to revolve around some center and we're all doing it together. But there's another real important point. It says that by identifying the key and all the musicians being in tune with that key, it gives them the freedom to improvise in ways that are beautiful. So it says key facilitates improvisation. Knowing the key helps musicians improvise lines that fit their harmonic background, making sure notes blend well with what's being played. So it's not a restriction of freedom. Actually, we'll find that it gives us the freedom, we can actually we can find a freedom in it. I was also thinking a lot of like when people go to like these county fairs or whatever, or amusement parks.
County fairs and amusement parks. Yeah.
There are rides, and generally those rides, have this central revolution kind of thing going on, whether it's a Ferris wheel or yeah. So
Finds those pleasurable.
I don't actually, but there's the merry-go-round. It's like
Another
somehow
sickening ride.
I'm kind of with you on that, but somehow apparently people pay to get on them because they find
Yeah.
some sort of satisfaction in revolving around a center. So it's not going to limit us. It's not going to limit us. What we're saying spiritually is that there is a central figure to the universe, right? That's what the whole bhakti, what all of Vedanta is presenting. There's a central figure in it.
Mhm.
If we all understand it, if we all understand how we relate to it, if we all attune ourselves with it and revolve around it, there's beauty, there's harmony, there's satisfaction.
I like.
All right.
Beautiful. Yeah.
Well, that's where we're going to be going today, Raghunath, because what we get today in Bhagavatam is what we're really getting is the first vision that we have of the spiritual world in detail in Bhagavatam, right? We haven't heard this before. Like we're actually stepping in. We're not only the spiritual world, like we came to the gates when when the four Kumars approached Vaikuntha, right?
Sure.
But
That's a good point. That's a
Yeah.
very interesting point.
Now we're going deep, not only into Vaikuntha, but we're going to the very pinnacle of all existence, where the most intimate divine love is experienced and expressed. An embassy of that world brought into the material world, and that's Gokula Vrindavan. Right? Goloka Vrindavan is that spiritual realm of Krishna Bhakti in the spiritual realm. And this embassy of it is present here in Gokula on earth. Same thing. We're going to see exactly what you see on the highest level of the spiritual world existing in this world. And it's all opening up. And what's the scene? The birth of Krishna.
You know what's cool? We have all this beautiful, very interesting, deep philosophy.
Yeah.
Then we've got all these ideas of gods and goddesses and spirits and trees and plants and animals.
Yeah.
All this stuff is very interesting. We've got a whole culture that goes with it. And then, and it's like scientific minds can appreciate all this stuff too.
Okay.
But then we haven't even touched this sort of like sweet nectar pot of information about the beyond the celestial realm of the spiritual realm. Beyond the celestial realm is a spiritual realm. That's what we're sort of going to crack open today.
Okay, Raghunath.
Very interesting, isn't it? It's all
Crack
so
it open.
interesting. Not just steadying the mind, not just mindfulness, not just,
Right.
Controlling your senses. That's well and good.
Yes.
The spiritual world and what it's like and how they interact and their beauty and their form. Come on.
Let's do it.
We're so fortunate. Narayanam namaskutyanam chaivanrotamam devim saraswatim vyasam tatojayamadirayat. Before reciting the Srimad Bhagavatam, which is our very means of conquest, one should offer respectful obeisances to the Supreme Lord Narayan, unto Narayan Rishi, the supermost human being, unto Mother Saraswati, the goddess of learning, and to Srila Vyasadeva, the author. Nasta prayeshu badreshu nityam bhagavat sevaya bhagavati uttama shloke bhakti ravati naistiki, by regular attendance in classes in the Bhagavatam, and by rendering service to the pure devotees. All that is troublesome to your heart will become eradicated, and loving service to the Supreme Lord, who is praised with transcendental songs, will be established as an irrevocable fact. Om Agyana Timarandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmritam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Reading from the Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 10, Chapter 5, Text 5.
Yeah, you know what, Raghunath? As we read this verse,
What?
I think we can consider. Imagine that you were one of the sages at Naimisharanya.
I do often imagine that.
Okay. What's
I'm
it like?
just it's wonderful. I'm just listening. Taking it in.
So it means you're a person that's got a large body of knowledge of the Vedas.
Right. Like I was saying, of Vedic teachings.
Yes, you know so much about that. And as you were saying, the different practices and the different ways to control and steady the mind. But
Mm,
you also have this, you know, this cosmology in your mind too. Like, okay, I'm on the Earth planet, which
right,
is kind of the middle planet within one universe. And
right,
within that universe, there's 14 different planetary systems, different levels of planets.
right. The soul is traveling up and down. All these
Yeah.
other people are like sage. Who knows where they came from? They all have a
Yes.
whole backstory. They're all have a type of enlightenment. The person I'm sitting to is equally as a container of massive amounts of this knowledge too.
That's right.
We're all
Yes.
sitting in this bliss and hearing the nectar from this great sage Sukadev
Yes.
or
Or well, from
Shanika
Sutta. From
Sutta
Sutta.
Goswami
Yeah.
rather.
And you also have the knowledge that these 14 different planetary systems within the universe that we're sitting in
Mm,
are just one universe of unlimited universes that are like bubbles, you know, like unlimited bubbles in the
mm.
water of the entire material realm, right?
When you have that knowledge at the forefront of your mind, it's hard to get arrogant too, because you realize well, it's hard to get worked up over things because you
You're very
realize
small.
it's all so temporary. You're such a tiny little part of this, and
Yes, yes,
everything passes so quickly, like a
yes,
waterfall. Huh?
yes, Raghunath. Yes, oh, yes, this is all true.
Don't grip onto that pain. Let it go.
Let it
Go.
go.
You
Okay.
go.
And,
Tag.
and but what you've been hearing so far in Bhagavatam and practically all the Puranas and the Upanishads and all that, almost all of it has been within the incredibly small bubble of
Mm,
this one universe, right?
mm,
Practically everything is from that perspective. And what we get now, like if you're sitting here and you're like, you know, okay, yes, I'm well informed on this universe and on the 14 different planetary systems and on Indraloka and on Brahmaloka and on, you know, Tapaloka. And I
mm,
really have that perspective. And I know so many stories and teachings that have taken place within that realm. And then suddenly Sutta Goswami begins to describe something more. Now we're going to step into a portal that gives you a vision of the highest level of the spiritual realm, way beyond this, not only beyond this universe, beyond the material world, beyond even the spiritual realm, at the very pinnacle of it, where the deepest spirituality in the form of bhakti is lived. I'm going to show you that right now. It would be like, whoa, hey,
right.
we're getting into some super duper and far out beautiful stuff. And when it plays out, it's going to play out. There's a lot of aesthetic detail that's going to be shared, so you
Okay.
get a feel for what it's like, right? That's what we're getting. Imagine if a cinematographer or director and a cinematographer said, "Let me show you the spiritual realm right now, the highest level of it," and it opened up what they want, what Vyas wanted to. Vyas operating like a director is going to show us a scene. The
Mm,
first scene that we see within Goloka Vrindavan, or within Gokula Vrindavan, you can say, the first that we see within Vrindavan is this scene of Krishna's birth and the joy, the bliss, the ananda that all the residents of Vrindavan are feeling
mm.
uh, in their hearts in this scene of Krishna's birth.
Very interesting. Very interesting.
All right, so it's exciting stuff. It's
Mara,
like the whole thing just burst into full color, you know.
Mara, I want you to check AI and see how the Bible describes heaven. I'd be curious. Okay, text 5. The Brahmanas recited auspicious Vedic hymns, which purify the environment by their vibrations. The experts in reciting old histories like the Puranas. Isn't that interesting? This ancient book is talking about the Puranas. The
Yes,
Puranas means old. So there's stories of ancient lore, even at the time Lord Krishna was born.
eternal.
Isn't that amazing?
Yeah.
The experts in reciting the histories of royal families and general reciters all chanted while this must have been wonderful while singers sang and many kinds of musical instruments like berries. I wonder
Mhm.
what's a berry?
I think it's something like a Shania, I think. Yeah,
Like berries and dundubis
which is a
played
drum.
in accompaniment. Brajapur, the residence of Nanda Maharaj, was fully decorated with varieties of festoons.
Festoons.
Festoons. What's a festoon?
A festoon. Is it like those things
A
that
streamer?
like those things that they hang on balconies that are like kind of like a semicircle folded kind of
Yeah, like
thing?
a streamer.
Is that a festoon? I'm not sure.
A decorative chain or strip hanging between 2 points.
Streamer.
Okay, that's
Yeah.
true.
Strip. And they used to do those with like twine and mango leaves and things like that. You can
Yeah.
still see these in India and Bali
right.
and right.
Wow.
Anyway, it's right, mango leaves. It says it right there. Pieces
you
of
go.
cloth and mango leaves. The courtyards and gates near the roads and everything within the rooms of the houses were perfectly swept and washed with water.
Okay. So the scene is opening up in front of us like a movie, right?
The cows, the bulls, and the calves were thoroughly smeared with a mixture of turmeric and oil.
Yeah.
That's going to make them really yellowy. And
Yeah.
they're going to get, yes. And a variety of minerals. So minerals, when they talk about minerals, they're talking about like colorful colors.
Yeah.
It's a natural color.
Mhm.
Colored dyes, probably. Their heads were bedecked with peacock feathers.
Wow.
The cows, right?
Yeah.
They have peacock feathers in the cows. That's adorable. I told you this. Forget it. Yeah, I was about to say the seats of the house chicken had babies. Okay, but
Yes, we
told you
we
that
went into
yesterday.
depth on that yesterday.
Well, it was a big day yesterday. We
I
found
know
out
it's a big thing.
There's 5 of them, 5 little babies.
Okay.
Their heads were bedecked with peacock feathers, and they were garlanded and covered with cloth and golden ornaments.
Okay.
Okay,
So
Krishna-
already it's like we understand that, okay, this is a very musical event going on. It's got this wisdom kind of aspect where there are people chanting these different mantras and stories. But there's also like a lot of wealth here, right? Like cows are the wealth. And even the cows are covered in gold. It's like
right.
they're not lacking anything here. This is a very prosperous civilization that we're looking into here. Very prosperous community.
Decorated in this way and carrying various presentations. Okay. O King's Picture, the cowherd men dressed very opulently with valuable ornaments and garments such as coats and turbans. Decorated in this way and carrying various presentations in their hands, they approached the house of Nanda Maharaj.
More prosperity.
Well, this is like, again, Boma Vrindavan on this planet.
Yeah.
Is this what you're talking about, the description of the spiritual world?
Well, what I was saying was that when you look in Boma Vrindavan, you're looking at, essentially what you're looking at is an embassy of Goloka Vrindavan. So you're getting a portal to the highest level of the spiritual realm.
Okay.
Right? You seem dissatisfied.
Well, I'm thinking like, are any people that are non-devotees seeing the exact same thing? Is Kamsa's coming to town, or Putin is coming to town? Are they going to see the exact same thing everyone else is seeing?
He would see this beauty and this opulence,
but he's not seeing it in the spiritual. Yeah,
he would disassociate it with its center. That's why he created such dissonance, right? Here we're looking at a community that's all revolving around Krishna. Everybody's excited about the central Krishna. Did you hear this beautiful boy? Everybody's excitement is centered around that. And it's all moving very harmoniously. He was like this dissonant note, out of tune, right? Totally out of tune.
You don't understand my question.
I understand your question.
For example, if there is an embassy, an Indian embassy, that actually represents India in Washington, D.C.
Yes.
And I know nothing of embassies. To me, it's just another building.
Yeah.
And I don't see it. And I don't give it that respect. And I don't give, you know what I mean? So if Kamsa or Putana or any of these demons or Agasura, and they're all coming to Vrindavan, is it actually opulent or is it just materially opulent? Do you understand my point?
It's non-different from the spiritual world, but a person's ability to perceive that that will vary according to the individual.
I'm going to wrestle with this a little bit longer. All right, text 9.
The Gopis.
Text 8.
9.
Text 9. The Gopi wives of the cowherd men were very pleased to hear that Mother Yashoda had given birth to a son, and they began to decorate themselves very nicely with proper dresses, ornaments, black ointment for their eyes, and so on.
Yeah. There's
I should
no
start wearing that.
black ointment.
Yeah, Kajal.
Okay.
The
Um,
lotus-like
but
faces,
there's
extraordinarily.
I was gonna say there's no envy here in these women, right? There's just joy that, oh, Yashoda's given birth to a very special boy.
Mm,
Let's dress ourselves up for this.
mm.
Right?
Their lotus-like faces, extraordinarily beautiful, being decorated with saffron. Their faces were decorated with saffron. How do they do that, Mara?
Well, it's got a color. It's like just like makeup people wear now, right?
Okay. And newly grown kumkum.
Kumkum.
Kumkum is something that grows. I guess it's a plant.
What is the origin of
Mara, you got to find the origin. After you give us the description of the Christian spiritual world,
now?
because of their natural beauty, the wives had full hips, full breasts, which moved, their breasts moved as they hurried along.
Okay.
Okay.
So this is again, it's kind of like a cinematic thing, right?
Yeah.
It's just showing people are healthy, people are happy, people are beautiful, and we're being shown that beautiful picture.
Mara, can you give that description of a Christian concept of heaven? Is there
What you got?
any description, or is it all left up to the imagination?
The Bible describes heaven as a place of perfect joy, peace, and the presence of God where there's no more death, pain, or suffering. It's portrayed as God's dwelling place and a future home for believers.
That's it.
So it's left.
Some descriptions are symbolic, like the New Jerusalem with streets of gold and gates of pearl.
How do we know that's symbolic? Maybe it's that.
The overarching theme is one of eternal bliss and communion with God.
Boring. I want descriptions. That's why it was so vague when I was growing up. I was picturing clouds, right? What were you picturing of heaven when you were a kid?
There wasn't much. It was kind of empty. It wasn't really clarified.
It was
I
it
don't
was
know.
very vague and like, why do I want to go to this place? It sounds a little boring.
Yeah.
With my grandmother wasn't so fun. She didn't speak English. She was old and didn't seem fun to reunite with her. I didn't really know her well. Okay, so this is gonna like
All right, one more
a little
thing
bit more. Okay,
about
more?
the kumkum powder.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, it seems like it's made of turmeric and then dried and powdered, and then mixed with slaked lime, which turns the yellow turmeric color into a red color.
No kidding.
Interesting. See, this is interesting. Fun facts, Mara.
Yeah.
What is slaked lime?
Lime is, you mix it in, building a house or something.
Yeah, and what is slaked?
Slaked lime.
Slaked lime. Here we go.
Calcium hydroxide.
Interesting.
Okay, so there's a chemical thing going on.
Yeah.
Some type of organic
Calcium
dye.
hydroxide.
Calcium hydroxide.
Okay, Raghunath, let's keep it moving here.
In the ears of the gopis
Yeah.
were brilliantly polished jeweled earrings, and from their necks hung metal lockets.
Let's think about this for a second, right?
I
It's not just saying like earrings or jeweled earrings. It's polished jeweled earrings, brilliantly polished. It's like there's a glow, there's a brilliance to their jewelry that maybe we can't imagine in our world, right? Like to see this vision, if we were to see this vision with our eyes, it would be so stunning
Mm.
that we'd practically lose it, right? Like it would make the world that we're living in now seem very dull, even the most beautiful aspects of it. This is just like this would just be an absolutely stunning vision. So they're wearing earrings, but they're like incredibly brilliantly shining,
Mm.
Okay.
In the ears of the gopi. Okay.
And from
Their
their neck-
hands were decorated with bangles. Right? Their dresses were varied colors, and from their hair, flowers fell onto the street like showers.
Okay.
Thus, while going to the house of Nanda Maharaj, the gopis, their earrings, their breasts, and their garlands moving were brilliantly beautiful.
Yeah. This
Attractive
isn't
scene.
a lustful description, even though it's
Even though
focusing
it
on
mentions bouncing breasts occasionally.
yeah, it's nature.
You're not supposed to be lusty all of a sudden this early in the morning. It's just a beautiful scene. offering blessings to the newborn child, Krishna. The wives and the daughters of the cowherd men said, "May you become the king of Braj and long maintain all its inhabitants." They sprinkled a mixture of turmeric powder, oil, and water upon the birthless Supreme Lord and offered their prayers.
Okay. Now, here you have just a really interesting theological idea, right? It's like, here's God
Hmm.
saying, let me take the form of a very vulnerable little baby
Hmm.
and let me experience the love that a baby feels when it's being adored, right? That's he's tasting that right now, right? He tastes in the form of Krishna. He tastes love in all its different varieties. You know, he'll experience it in a different body. You know, the friendship, and he'll in a still more mature body. He's going to experience, you know, the romantic love with the gopis. But there's a specific love that this form facilitates perfectly, right? The adoration, that the loving adoration that a infant can feel, and he's in that form, and he's feeling it in its perfection. It's being expressed in its perfection.
Hmm.
He's receiving in its perfection, and then he's going to reciprocate with that love, with his own love, that will be returned to all of these residents of Vrindavan in so many wondrous ways.
Thank you. Now, the all now that the
Pervading.
all-pervading, unlimited Lord Krishna, the master of the cosmic manifestation, had arrived within the estate of Nanda Maharaj, various types of musical instruments resounded to celebrate the great festival.
Okay.
In gladness, the cowherd men enjoyed the great festival by splashing one another's bodies with a mixture of curd, condensed milk, butter, and water. Isn't this interesting? This is just how festivities were back then.
Yeah, well, a little food fight.
A little transcendental food fight. Not like messy, probably a little messy, but not like rude or cruel. It's just like gentle.
There's a difference between messy and dirty, right? Like things could be messy and pure. And
Right.
so yeah, this is messy, but it's messy with all pure ingredients.
Right. Just like in India during the holy season, there's people have taken the beautiful holy festival and turned it into like what the equivalent of America is like Hell Night on or the day before Halloween, where you're just like throwing buckets of water, of colored water, and people are
Yeah.
whipping people or slapping people with the water balloon. That's not the mood. If you've ever seen cultured people do holy, they take a little color and just sprinkle it on your head and you laugh, ha ha ha. And then they sprinkle some blue on your head. Me and Kaustubha. Hoo, hoo, hoo.
Oh,
Yeah, and then a little fingertip, a little red on his cheek. Ha ha ha. But we've turned it into sort of just like
it's out of control.
it's out of control. It's not sweet. It's sort of like dastardly.
That's right.
Right. So this is like not dastardly, it's sweet.
But it's,
Throw some curd at
but
me, Kaustubha.
throw a little curd at you. But you know, especially what's coming through here is the joy that everyone's feeling. You know, they're feeling this ecstasy and gladness, right? The cowherd men enjoyed the great festival, and this is a framed image of what it's like when everyone is harmonically, you know,
Harmonically.
harmoniously revolving around that central figure. It's an illustrate. It's an illustrate. You know, later on there's some real. Maybe I should have pulled them up. It describes later when Krishna's a boy, he goes out, you know, herding the cows with his other friends during the day,
Hmm.
and he sits down, and they all sit down to have their like snacks, right? Everybody has like a package that their mother's given them of delicious snacks.
A little
And
Tupperware.
yeah, and they have a little picnic. You know, they sit down on the bank of the river, and they all begin to share their food. But it's said that Krishna sits at the center of that assembly of beautiful cowherd boys. You know, they're all also like beautifully decorated. They're all wearing beautiful silk cloth, and they got jewelry on, and they all also have these beautiful bodies.
There was a generation of time in America when kids dressed their kids up nice for school.
True.
You know what I mean? You dressed up. You have your clothes. Here's my back to school clothes. Right now it's just like,
But this was even more beautiful clothes
yes,
than
this was more.
that.
This was more beautiful. The
But I
kids had
get your
tons of
point.
earrings and jewelry on
Yeah.
and
And
turbans.
and they say that Krishna is sitting at the center of that assembly of beautiful cowherd boys, like the whorl of a lotus. And they're all looking at him, and each one of them is feeling like Krishna is looking back at them, even though they're all surrounding him 360 degrees, you know. But they're all in perfect harmony with that center. So this principle is going to be illustrated again and again and again, in so many ways, and it's speaking to us. It's giving us. This Bhagavatam is the ultimate universal manual, right? If you're feeling some sort of discord in your life, if you're feeling some sort of disturbance, oh well, let's get ourselves moving in harmony and revolving around the center, and we're going to find that things become beautiful and pleasing and satisfying and meaningful, and we'll sing at work, right, as we heard in the nugget, and so on, and we'll feel joy in even the simplest things, right? In one sense, this is kind of like oh, someone's having a baby shower, or someone's having this, and we go to those things. Sometimes they're enjoyable, sometimes they're sometimes they feel like we're obligated to go, and we really wish
Right.
we didn't have to go.
Right.
But this is something like, no, no, no. They're experiencing a bliss at the birth of Krishna that is way beyond the ananda of the yogis that are finding some kind of impersonal oneness. Right? This is a oneness that's going far beyond that, where there's love in the mix, right? And that love is so satisfying and so enjoyable that everyone's feeling. They're feeling such bliss that it's like, oh, we got yogurt, let's throw it on each other. It's just like it's kind of, it's not like it's conceived, but it's like rather than doing something to be blissful, what they're doing is an expression of their bliss that they just can't hold back.
That's nice.
Yeah.
Okay. The great-minded Maharaj Nanda
They threw butter. We didn't get that line. They threw butter.
threw butter on one another, smeared it on one another's body. Me and Mary do that a lot.
A little butter
Just
smearing.
The great-minded Maharaj Nanda gave clothing. So here's his appreciation back.
Right.
He gave ornaments and cows in charity to the cowherd men in order to please Lord Vishnu, and thus he improved the condition of his own son in all respects, right? That's how you give
Right.
blessings to your own child on auspicious occasions or on a birthday. You give charity, right?
Please
He
the
gave
community.
clothing, ornaments, cows. He distributed charity to the Suttas, the Magadas, the Vandis, and all men of other professions, according to their educational qualifications, and satisfied everyone's desires.
Okay.
The most fortunate Rohini, the mother of Baladev, was honored by Nanda Maharaj and Yashoda, and thus she also dressed gorgeously and decorated herself with a necklace, a garland, and other ornaments. She was busy wandering here and there to receive the women who were guests at the festival.
Ah, what a scene. What a beautiful scene.
O Maharaj Parikshit, the home of Nanda Maharaj is eternally the abode of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And is
Here we go. This may speak to your question earlier. Let's just see, right? He's making a statement now.
The home of Nanda Maharaj is eternally the abode of the Supreme Personality of Godhead and its transcendental qualities, and is therefore always naturally endowed with the opulence of all wealth. Yet, beginning from Lord Krishna's appearance there, it became the place for the pastimes of the goddess of fortune.
Oh, the place of the pastimes for the goddess of fortune.
All right, now back to
what exactly is implied by that statement, right? That although it's always opulent, that when Krishna appears there, its opulence is so great that it's like the goddess of fortune herself she goes there, right? Like she wants to be there. Like she can give blessings so that your place can become more prosperous or opulent.
All right.
But this is the place that she's attracted to going to.
Sukadev Goswami continues. So is this sage level 1, Sukadeva Goswami, or we call this sage level
Sukadeva
2?
Goswami, we call that sage level 2 because the first sage level is
It's sort of sage level -1, right?
you say that?
Well,
I
because
mean,
he
it's
spoke before the actual speakers,
but
so
it's
sort of
but it's
negative
not the
one.
way that we're counting in Bhagavatam because the way
Okay.
that Bhagavatam is unfolding is first we're hearing through Sutta. And
Okay, so
Sutta
we're going to
tells us
call it
about
sage
Sukadeva.
level 2. We're back at
Sage
Sukadeva
level 2.
Goswami as the narrator.
Yeah.
Thereafter, my dear King Parikshit, O best protector of the Kuru dynasty, Nanda Maharaj appointed the local cowherd men to protect Gokul and went to Mathura to pay the yearly taxes to King Kamsa.
Okay, so why don't we pause here, Raghunath, because it's 7:58
man.
and we're getting a shift, right? We're moving. We just were given a picture of paradise, a picture of the spiritual realm at its highest level, and now Nanda Maharaj is going to leave there because he's got to go pay the taxes. He's going to have to go to Mathura.
We know what we didn't do? We didn't read that message I got from
No, you forgot.
Professor Snooky. Professor Snooky wrote an interesting message to me, which I missed
Why don't we
because
do it
sometimes
tomorrow?
on Instagram I miss a message,
Yeah.
and then they send me something else that they liked something, and then I was like, oh wow, they sent me a message in February. So she sent me this message I wanted to read. So this is from Professor Snooky, one of our daily listeners.
Okay.
All right, she writes, I met one of these kids at our high school battle of the bands.
She's a teacher. She's a
Battle
teacher.
of the bands.
I was shocked when I heard a hardcore band come on.
Oh my
A
God!
hardcore band
Horrible.
playing the Battle of the Bands.
Horrible noise.
Paramananda's band did that in high school. They played a Battle of Bands, and all the punks showed up and blew everybody's minds in the Westchester High School that he went to.
They were screaming and I couldn't understand much, but then I heard them sing In the Age of Kali Yuga. And I said, I have to meet them.
What
So
are
she
they
spoke
all about?
briefly. Yeah, she spoke briefly with the 16-year-old singer who was named Nolan afterwards. And she said, I heard you say Kali Yuga. Is this Krishna core? And are you a devotee? And he said, wow, how do you know about that? And so I said, well, you must know Raghunath. And he said, of course, I just read his book.
Boom.
And I told him you're one of my most favorite teachers. And then I went on pilgrimage to India with you, etc. And he was totally amazed. It was a
Amazing.
total, yeah. It was,
We're going to call that a Krishna miracle.
yeah. So it was,
Anyway, we don't have to.
Is that good?
Is there more? That's
that's
okay.
that's the gist
the
of it.
that's the big gist of it.
All right.
Very interesting. Krishna
Look at
core
that.
Battle of the Bands.
Yeah. All right.
Did they
It was-
win? No, not
No.
No.
definitely
She
not.
said no.
yet. Someone singing Taylor Swift songs won
It's
that one. But,
Christian band won. Damn it.
Christian
Just
band.
kidding. This Christian folk band won.
Okay.
I want to see an Islamic band. How about that?
Oh
right.
yeah.
We still gonna do takeaways, or was
Yeah,
that our
takeaways.
takeaway?
No, let's do takeaways, my dear.
All right. Do what you do, but get your ego out of the way and be a servant of God.
Okay.
Okay.
Is that a
All right, Kaustubha.
Yeah.
Pa- Pause and find purpose.
Pause. Shh.
Purpose.
Purpose, Kaustubha.
Connect to the center, and you're connected to everyone.
Raghunath is the center. Connect to him.
I didn't say that. He did.
Just implied it.
You just implied in everything you do and say.
If you're in tune with the key, you have the freedom to improvise.
Okay.
I like it. I like it.
Yes.
Krishna tastes love in all the varieties.
What is that like avant-garde jazz where they're sort of like off key? Like
Yeah,
modern
well, they
jazz.
play with that discordant kind of
Yeah, they-
thing, right? Yeah, a lot of music does that. But it's kind of disturbing, that music, in a sense.
it's disturbing, yeah.
Yeah.
Cringy.
Revolve around the center, and you'll sing joyfully at work.
Okay.
If you think about it, even hardcore music, it's all sort of still follows within a particular tonic, a key. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but there's discordant elements too, like flipper.
Yeah, but
Void.
it's still in key. That's the thing.
Are you sure they're always in key?
Not necessarily, but
Yeah,
no,
I'm
I
not
think it is in key, but it's like minor or, you know what I mean? It's just got distortion.
There's distortion, but I think there's some discordant.
I think if it was actually
elements as
not
well.
in key, we wouldn't like
right.
the flipper songs.
You want
No,
to,
but sometimes people like that taste.
and
I don't know. I think I'm gonna go. I should. We should get a real musician to listen to Flipper
Okay.
and
And-
Black Flag Damaged and see. Mara, what's up? What's the big and today? And
Crack open the spiritual world.
Crack it open.
crack it open. Boom! Thanks for joining us, everybody. Another transcendental morning, a Tuesday morning.
Raghunath, there's an Islamic band out there. They're called Janoon.
Janu.
Janoon.
Janoon. The hardcore band?
I don't know. If
I don't want to hear some rock bands. I want a
I
hardcore,
think hardcore
Islamic
would work
band.
for like they're rockish.
Rockish. Okay. Rockish.
But for
Yeah.
like a fanatical,
I wonder if, like-
jihadist band, I think hardcore could work well.
The FBI be all over that so quick.
Yeah.
Anyway, thanks for joining us, everybody.